Good Friday. They'll pick things back up on Monday, where they will continue the cross-examination of Biddle, and they will also be revealing some text messages between Biddle and Allison that were admitted into evidence today after the jury had been dismissed. I'm reporting live in Belton, Madison Herbert, KWTX News 10.
In the courtroom as the trial against Caysen Allison continues.
2 more witnesses were sworn in, and a spectator was excused from the courtroom after an outburst.
News 10's Madison Herbert joins us live now. Madison, how did day 4 unfold?
Good evening, Lauren and Gordon. The friend of Caysen Allison, who was in the bathroom with him the day the fight broke out, Chris Biddle, and a medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Joe Ramirez testified today. But first, cross-examination continued on Ramirez's stepbrother, Josh Rios. The defense asked Rios about getting to school on the day of May 3rd, 2022. Rios told the court that a friend brought him, but video from the school parking lot showed Rios arriving to school in the driver's seat. Rios said Ramirez told him that he had a fight with Allison in the parking lot that morning. However, the footage shows no fight happened. It shows Allison walking in front of Rios's car and then walking toward the school entrance. At this point, less than an hour in, there was a misunderstanding between the defense and witness after a mumbled response from the witness was translated incorrectly by the defense during questioning. This led to an outburst in the gallery where a man near the back of the courtroom yelled, trying to correct the attorney, and everyone's head turned towards the commotion. Immediately, that man stood up and said, quote, "I'll step out. This man's ignorant," referring to Allison's lawyer. Later in the morning, the defense tried to submit evidence of a photo posted to Snapchat. It was a mugshot of Ramirez after being arrested for assault. The judge ruled the evidence not relevant. Since the photo couldn't be revealed, the defense asked Rios if he knew Ramirez had been arrested for assault and if he knew why. Rios said he knew and that Ramirez had gotten into a fight when he was 18 with someone who was 17. When asked to recall those moments in the bathroom again, the defense asked, "You can't say Caysen had no reason to be afraid," to which Rios replied, "I do not believe he was afraid. He could have left the bathroom when he saw us if he was afraid." Rios doubled down on his testimony from yesterday, saying they weren't in the bathroom to fight. It was a pit stop they made some days between classes. The defense came back with, "You didn't try to stop Joe when the fight started?" Rios replied with, "No, sir." Now, after lunch, the court brought in the medical examiner from the Dallas County Forensic Science Office, Dr. Grant Hendon, where he revealed photos taken during that autopsy of Ramirez. Now, the photos showed 4 stab wounds. These images had all of Ramirez's family and friends in tears and covering their eyes. The first one described was the one that eventually killed Ramirez, as the knife caused damage to his left lung, heart, and injury to his coronary artery, which is responsible for blood flow. The second wound was also in the area of the lungs. The third wound were actually 2 wounds connected, meaning the tip of the knife entered in one place and exited in a different place. This wound was on Ramirez's buttocks. The 4th stab wound was on the back of his left forearm. However, the order in which these wounds were obtained cannot be proven by this report, which prompted the defense to ask that also means that the aggressor in the situation cannot be proved from this report. Dr. Hendon agreed. Now, close friend of Allison's, Chris Biddle, he was sworn in with just about an hour left in the day, and so he is going to be back on Monday because the court is going to be closed.
Now, this story is a clear-cut case of murder. A student, Caysen Allison, brought a knife to school and murdered Jose Joe Ramirez in a boys' locker room. Now, the issue was over a girl. It appeared that they had a fight over some girl on prom night, and it spilled over into schools the following days. The guy you see on the screen, that's Caysen Allison. He murdered in cold blood Jose Joe Ramirez, the person you see on the screen there now. They had a fight over a girl in a boys' bathroom, and Jose ended up dying from his stab wounds. Now, I'm wondering why the Anton Daniels, the OK Riggs, the Officer Tatum aren't covering this story. Why isn't this story covered by these people? It's happening in Texas, Waco, Texas to be exact. But there's no coverage. There's nothing on YouTube about this. So I'm just curious as to why that is. Shouldn't this be covered just as much as the other case is being covered? The Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony story. This one right here is a clear-cut case of murder, and that's probably why they're not covering it. Because this is a clear-cut case of murder. He premeditated this murder. He brought a knife to school knowing he was going to use it. Anyway, guys, white on white crime. Thank you all for coming back to the Black Only News and Entertainment Network. Peace, take care, and be safe.